The biggest waste of money when it comes to running ads is launching new ad creatives without looking and analyzing the data. Data is king, and this is exactly what I will tackle in this video. How to read the numbers, how to look at an ad and understand how that performs, when to scale that up, when to turn that off. That's exactly what I will be teaching in this video. So let's get started, and let's talk first of all about the most important 6 metrics that you want to pay attention to. I will start off with the least important, and I will go all the way up to the most important metric that you want to pay attention to, and you want to kind of make all your adjustments and all your changes based on that metric. So the list, which is the kind of a 6th metric that you want to look at, is what is your cost per click? How much are you paying to get that visitor to your website? Now, there is like kind of standard, and many people are talking about this kind of standard, that you need to have like around at $1, ideally under $1 as your cost per click. That kind of depends on every single industry, because I've seen brands with a $2, $3, $4 cost per click and they're still generating good sales. Now, the second metric, which goes after the cost per click, is CTR, click-through rate. This is a metric that tells you in terms of percentages how many people are clicking on your ad. Again, the standard is to have like around 1.5. If you've got an ad that has a click-through rate over 1.5%, that's what is considered a good ad. If it's something more than 2%, that is like leading kind of industry ad. But I've seen kind of the same thing with the cost per click. There are ads that they have lower click-through rate, lower than 1%, and they're still generating sales. Now, moving to the next metric is video retention. So this is a metric that actually Facebook does not have in their kind of dashboard. However, you can create it. It's a custom metric that you can create it. I'll put here a screenshot or a video on how to create this custom metric. And what this does, it tells you how much time your visitors, the people you're targeting, are spending on your video. And what I've seen is that the more time people are spending on an ad, that will lead to a higher return on spend. It is not like a standard, however, in most of the cases, this is what happens. So you want to strive for a higher percentage. Now, the next question that you might have is, what is that ideal percentage? And my answer is going to be that totally depends on every single brand. However, like for e-commerce, I've seen that if you have like between 5 to 15%, that is considered like a pretty good ad. But you know, the next metrics that I will be covering, those are the metrics that you want to look at. This is just one thing that you want to look at to assess how an ad performs. This kind of leads me to the next metric that you want to look at, and that is your video hook. So the video hook is again another metric that you can create within the Facebook ad space, and I will make sure I will have here like a video to show you how you can create that. And this is going to tell you how much time and in terms of percentages people are spending on your video, like those first 3 seconds. Here again, what I've seen is that the higher percentages that you are getting, most likely you're going to get also a high return on spend, because this boils down to kind of the marketing fundamentals. First, you want to grab someone's attention, you want to capture your ideal customer's attention, then they will like allocate their time looking at your brand, like analyzing your products, looking at your website, and then once they are committed, once they've given you enough time, they will start purchasing from you. I've seen a very good pattern from the Google Analytics that proves this idea, that the more people are staying on our website, the higher our conversion rate is. So if like people, let's say on average, they stay more than 2 minutes on your website, then the conversion rate can be like 1.5, 2.5. But if they stay, let's say, less than 1 minute, then you will see that your conversion rate is actually less than, let's say, 1%. So I'm gonna circle back to the video hook, and this kind of gives us an idea that everything starts with this particular metric. The more people you can capture with your ad, the higher your conversion rate most likely is going to be. Now, moving to the second most important metric is, what is your number of purchases? What is that number of sales? This is what tells us that volume, right? Now, for every single business is going to be different, because a high-end brand, you might get like, let's say 10, 20 purchases per month and they can be extremely profitable and they can be very happy with that. Other brands that sell lower ticket products, they need to have much more volume in terms of achieving their goal that they have in mind. Now let's cover why this is the second most important metric. Why isn't this like the first one? Why isn't this the most important metric? The most important metric, on the other hand, is actually your return on ad spend. How much you are getting back from the first initial investment. How much you are getting from that ad. Like, let's say you put $1, how much are you getting back? Is it $3, $4, $5? Like, for example, if you're getting $3, that means the return on spend is 3x. If it's $4, that means your return on spend is 4x. So I hope you got this idea. Now, this is a crucial metric, and I look first at this particular metric when I analyze my clients' ad data. Because at the end of the day, what is driving your business is that cash flow, is your profit. The higher return on spend you get, the higher profit you will get for your business. With more profit, you can do multiple things to scale your brand, like hiring better people. You could launch better products. You could improve your offer. You could improve your ad creatives, your message, and so on and so on and so forth. That's why when it comes to optimizing and analyzing your ads and you want to make the next changes, right? You look at these 6 metrics that I've mentioned, but you look in this order that I've said. You start with the return on spend and you finish with the cost per click, because you might get a very low cost per click. Like, if you want a very low cost per click, just optimize for traffic. You're gonna get so low cost per click that you will not even believe it. However, the return on spend is going to be 0 or negative, where maybe you're gonna get some kind of return on spend, but it is not going to be the same as optimizing for conversions. That's why you want to optimize based on your goals. Now, once you've noticed the ads that they are like pretty profitable, let's say in this way, you want to start digging into those creatives. Now, after looking at these metrics, the next step that you want to do, which is the second step, is you want now to dig into the creatives with good performance and also with the bad performance. Why is that? Because you want to learn from these ad creatives. You have to understand that in order to have a great marketing, you want to work based on the data. The problem that many business owners, many marketers do is that they are just launching ad creatives based on their feelings, based on what they like, based on what they think that their customers want. And there is a big difference between like running ads based on your emotions and based on the data. That's why the second step is crucial. You want to learn from every single ad that you're launching, because you are putting like money, you are investing money, and you want to make sure that every single dollar, every single like investment that you put in your ads is actually worthwhile. Even though that ad wasn't generating sales, because that can happen, you still learn something from ad. You learn what to do and what not to do in the future. Now, a question that you might have is, how can I differentiate? Like, how can I say that this is an ad that has a, let's say, a good performance? Well, in this case, you have to know your numbers. You have to know at least what is your break-even return on spend. As this is like return on spend is the first metric that you want to look at, the metric that is mandatory for you to know is that break-even. How much you are paying and how much you could get with no loss and with no profit. Like, if you know that kind of metric, you know how to optimize that ad. So every single ad that has a return on spend higher than your break-even and it's got like a solid number of sales, that is an ad that you could scale it up. And notice I said that it has to have quite some solid number of sales. If you've got like one order, which can happen especially when you are launching your first ads, like you could have a return on spend of 10x in the first 24 hours and you scale that, you know, ad budget by 100, 200, 500%, most likely that is not going to work. Because how algorithms work is that first they're going through this learning process. They are learning who is your ideal client. If you've got like one purchase within the next hours, that doesn't mean that that is an ad that will produce very good results with high ad spend. So you have to pay attention to this number. That's why I said that the second metric that is extremely important to look at is the number of sales. The first one is return on spend, and the second one is the number of sales. Now the first step is going to sound something like this. So you take that good ad, that generates good return on spend and it's got solid number of sales, and you start breaking it down. You want to look at every single detail, at every single frame, if it's a video, and analyze and ask yourself and answer this question, why this is working. So you look at the creative itself, you look at the hook, you look at the message, you look at the offer, and you start questioning yourself how and why this is working and how can I go ahead and create something similar to this. Now, if you enjoyed this content so far, make sure to click on the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell. Every other day I upload here a new video about Facebook and TikTok ads for e-commerce brands. Now, if we talk about with those good performing ads and you've analyzed and you understand why this is working, you want to create now some iterations of that. So when I say iterations, you pretty much take that ad, right, and you start changing one thing at a time. So what that one thing can be? It can be the copy, so that primary text. You take the same ad creative and now you just change that primary text and you keep the other things the same. The headline, the creative, the hook is going to be the same. Or you could take, like, let's say the hook and you change just only that part, where you could change only those text overlays. So the reason why we're doing that is because you never know how like another kind of hook can resonate with your ideal client. It can resonate even better, and that will lead to a higher return on spend. So higher return on spend, that means higher profits. Higher profits means lots and lots of opportunities for your brand. That's the importance of testing one thing at a time. Now, on the other side, let's say that you've tested tens and tens of ads and you've spent like a couple of months on launching new creatives and not really, like nothing kind of is working. Like you might get some return, but it is not profitable. What to do in that case? So what I've seen usually, what here is a problem is that like the angle that you are using right now is quite saturated. Many brands are using, the competition rate is quite high, and that is why like your return on spend is quite low and you cannot really outbid your competitors, especially if you're just getting started, especially if your business is not that known, you don't have much authority. You have to always remember that there are many brands out there that they like sell kind of similar products and they have authority, they have celebrities in their ads, they have quite a lot of reviews, so it's a very noisy marketplace. In this case, what I would recommend is positioning your product from different angles. So positioning is one very critical aspect of marketing. Now, what is actually positioning? Positioning essentially is how people perceive your product. Is it a gift? Is it a product for myself? Is it a product that helps me to elevate my status? Is it a product that helps me with my lifestyle? Is it a product that helps me with A problem or with the B problem? Because you could take the same product that you're selling and position in a way that solves different problems, or helps them with different kind of lifestyles, or with different desires that they have. When you are doing that, when you are testing different angles, eventually you'll find one particular angle that is going to work better than the other ones. The moment when you found out that specific angle and it's profitable for your business, now you start sticking to that and you create more iterations. You now like work on that fourth step that I said, you start like kind of creating iterations of that winning ad. So this way the 5 steps to analyze your ad performance. And now if you still have like quite some questions and if you are overwhelmed and you want to find out more about it, if we could help you and your brand to grow with Facebook and TikTok ads, make sure to click on the link below and book a 30-minute strategy session with me. We will see if we are on the same page. Now, your business must make at least 15K per month so you could qualify for working with us. However, if you have the ad budget, which is at least 3K per month, and you know deep down that you have a product that can be scaled, we can still talk about and see if we are on the same page. So click on the link below, and until then, I will talk to you next time.